right, ladies and gentlemen, bass players around the world, bass players, Detroit bass players. Got us another Detroit bass player hanging in the basement. That's BASSmint. Tell us your name, bro.
Rick Calloway.
Rick Calloway, how you doing?
Fair, thank you, and yourself.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Long time no see, man. And I finally got you in the basement. Finally, after 2 years, I've asked, and he finally came down to the basement. Welcome to the basement, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
And also hanging out in the basement with us, we have another Detroit bass player. Tell us your name, sir.
My name is Javon Adams.
Javon Adams with a nice Fender there, 4-string bass in the house. We also have a photographer photographing us here in the basement. Tell us your name, sir.
Don Bartkowiak.
Take some nice pictures, man. I saw some of your pictures at the Detroit Bass Day. They were awesome, man. Do you play bass?
I don't. I play keys, actually.
Okay, well, you're still welcome in the basement.
Thank you very much.
Also, standing next to him is none other than our gracious host, Mr. Reginald Canty. Thank you once again for allowing us to use the basement to sit here and rap and talk and all that kind of stuff.
With him, boo.
Also, we have another Detroit bass player. Tell us your name, sir.
Mike Nagy.
Mike Nagy, and one more in the house. Tell us your name, sir.
Jay Bartkowiak.
That name sound. Didn't I just hear that name?
You did.
Yeah.
That's my father over there.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome you guys to the basement. And as I pan, it's like Fender, Lakeland, Fender. So today is a Fender's day with a little bit of Lakeland on the side. We're gonna be interviewing all these bass players, by the way. So check out the show, Detroit Bass Players in the Basement. And I forgot, my name is Big Ive. I'm your host. All right, so Rick, man, you know how we do this, man. When did you start playing the bass and why?
Well, I got 3 episodes.
I can want to hear all 3.
The first episode was, it started, I have a brother that plays guitar. I have a cousin that plays guitar, and I have a cousin that plays bass. And so all that was influential to me wanting and desiring to learn how to play. And the second episode was, well, the first one was in the 70s. I started and I quit immediately. And the second episode was in the 80s. And what happened there, I went to a concert and I seen John Luke Ponte at Masonic Temple. And this was during the time when Ralph was with him.
That's Ralph Armstrong, another Detroit bass player.
Yes, sir. And I didn't know who Ralph was at the time, but I discovered it when I bought the album. And Ralph was electrifying Ralph as he is. And that influenced me to start playing again. And I played it a couple years, and I quit again, and that's when I got into something else. And this third episode led me to play bass was a significant other. Okay. And after that, the bass became my significant other. Mm-hmm. And so that's where it started back at.
And so how long have you been playing since your third episode?
About 4 years.
4?
4 or 5, yeah. That's
awesome. You kind of make them sound like heart attacks, but I think that's awesome for you to come back. You know what I'm saying? For a third time to play the bass, and how you been digging it so far?
Well, I've been having fun because this episode, I've been on and off going to the open mics. And then getting a chance to really gauge what I'm doing. And I'm very, 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 very hard on myself. And that is always a very negative in a way of how I can view myself. But at the same time, it's positive because I have high standards, and I'm looking to try to hit a certain point, and I haven't gotten there yet. So, but that's where I'm at this stage of the game.
Okay, so which episode did you learn how to play in? Because you sound well, you know what I'm saying? You say you've been back for 4 years. When did you start playing and you take instructions or anything like that?
Right now, I've basically been hanging out by myself at this stage of the game. I have hung out quite a bit with Lamont Johnson.
Another Detroit bass player.
Yes, sir. I haven't sat down with him in a minute or two, but I have sat down with him many a times and learned some things from him.
Oh, okay.
And he's one that definitely has an approach that I can appreciate, and I appreciate how he plays.
Right. I almost kind of saw a little bit of it with that left hand muting sound that you was doing.
Yeah, and I don't even think about it anymore.
Right.
And it's just something that I do and don't think about. And I know he do the same thing. He says to me that he plays that way and he don't think about it any longer. But that's one of the things I noticed from every bass player. Every bass player has a touch, and the touch to me is something either you're gonna gravitate towards or you're gonna say, okay, I hear you, but do I feel you? And I think that we all want to feel the bass, and not only the choice of notes, but the impact that the bass have when you're hearing the bass played, and that's what I look to feel as well as hear.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to episode 1. It's interesting. You piqued my interest when you said you stopped immediately.
Yeah.
Why did you stop immediately? Did you get to play with anybody then, or?
No. Let me tell you why. It was just didn't have nobody really to hang around with to really show me some real important things, and the knowledge was hidden from me, and so I have a brother he's very, 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 very hard on you, and he's one of those note for note type guys, guitar players, and he's an excellent player, and he's one of those type of guys, he'll make you mad, just because you didn't play that right, that those notes weren't right there, and I was a kid. I was in elementary school.
Right. Okay. So, second episode, we understand that you had the opportunity to play with any bands other than the jam sessions?
No.
Okay. Are you looking to play with any bands?
Well, where I'm at right now, to be totally honest with you, I'm letting the music guide me. And
That's
wherever
awesome.
it guides me, that's where I'm going to go.
Okay. Well, if I wanted to hear you or if I wanted to hear you or to actually just hang out and see your progress, is there anywhere I can go to find that out?
Mostly where I go and sit in at is on Thursday night when I go down there at Bones open mic thing, which is on Harper and Casual. Give a shout out to my man Bones, Robert Bones Curry.
Another Detroit bass player.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And if we want to contact you in case we wanted to get you to play bass with our band or something, we got any contact information?
Any email address. Yeah, I got that.
Or you got a Facebook or anything?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Matter of fact, me and you're friends.
We are? No, I know we are, but this is for the viewers who...
Yeah, Marcus Rick Calloway.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, well, man, like I said, I ain't want to keep you, man. I just want, I'm with every bass player to come in the basement and give us their story, because my goal is to interview every single Detroit bass player, whether you live in Detroit or its suburbs or the suburbs of the suburbs or the suburbs of the suburbs, or, anywhere in Michigan. If you're from Detroit and you live in Indonesia, I don't care. If you're from Detroit, we can do a Skype, we can do interviews. We trying to do interview with everybody. that plays bass here, and we want to do it in here in the basement, or we can do a Skype. I don't care. So reach out, bass players, and let me get an interview with you. And I'd like to thank you. But before we go, I want to know, anybody got any questions for this fine bassist here? Anybody?
I got like in between like your episodes of playing, when you picked it up again, what did you realize that you missed the most about playing when you didn't have the chance to? Or like, you know,
I think it was just missing pieces that let me give it to you just as it is. Mm-hmm. You know how when you go and you hear, or even hear a song played, mm-hmm. and you be like, I hear this in that. Mm-hmm. And if you go and hear a live guy play, and you say, I hear that in this. Mm-hmm. Why didn't he do that?
Right.
And it's like, you know what? I know what I want to play on it. Mm-hmm. And so you start trying to reach for those notes mm-hmm. that are appealing to you, or a style that's appealing to you, because no one's going to play what you hear.
Right.
And so that was basically what it was. I'm trying to connect to the stuff that I'm hearing in my head.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm learning how to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's certain chord passages that it speaks one way, right. Resolving in and out of from one chord to the next. Mm-hmm. You may not even know what the chord is, but you hear it. Yeah. And so you start saying, you know what, I hear this over that chord. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm learning how to connect that's really basically what I was missing then that I'm mm-hmm. connecting to now at the present. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for this fine bassist? Rick, how about you, sir? You got anything you want to say in closing before you play us out?
Well, first of all, it's my first time coming in and getting in front of the camera and being interviewed, and it's gratifying to be before you and to not be sweating bullets, you know, because one of the hardest things when you're playing music in front of a crowd is to feel like, well, you know, I'm not nervous. That's mm-hmm. not necessarily true, you know, and it's the same thing right here, you know, being in front of this camera, you know. And
you're playing the bass in front of a bunch of bass players.
Yeah, in front of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, this is a lot larger than being in front of an audience in a jam session, or even if you were on a big stage and you're performing as a performer, you know. And so if anyone have the audacity to step in front of this camera, you'll see what I mean by doing that. And so for me to do it, I think is a very big step for me to get in front of the camera and speak and answer your questions. But you know, my questions, I think I would ask directly to each and every one of you all the questions that I would be curious of, because you all, I'm the one in front of the camera at this stage, you know.
Okay, so well, they'll be in front of the camera soon enough. Trust me.
Gotcha.
And so okay, well, thank you. And why don't you just play us some now? Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit bass player Mr. Rick Calloway playing us out. An interpretation of